Speaking from the perspective you represent, what do you consider would be the ideal continuum of schools taught to create lifelong learners in the 21st century? What specific skills and concepts should be introduced and reinforced in high school in order to prepare students for what you believe should be introduced and reinforced in college? What specific skills do you think students should master before college so they're ready to learn and begin to use new ones? Or what skills and concepts are least important for students to have mastered? And I won't ask the student question just yet. So we're going to start with Faye.
Okay. With my high school students, and some of them have gone on to college, and they've seemingly had no problems with research or writing because we're very strong in that area. We try to teach the basic writing skills, and then of course we do all of the research skill and technology skills. For instance, we do the outlining and graphic organizing, topic sentences, 5-paragraph essays. We try to dwell on the higher order thinking skills like evaluation, compare, contrast, analyzation, and besides the essay, we work on MLA format is required from 8th grade on, and they are taught MLA format immediately, and everything must be in MLA format for us. And they are taught parenthetical citations beginning in 8th grade. We start every year, they write a major research paper, and it must include parenthetical expressions, a works cited page, and of course we've gone over thesis and paraphrasing versus summarizing, and they must, for my 8th grade students, they had to include 4 or 5 sources: a print source, an internet source of their choice, a source from either Gale or EBSCO database, so they had to be taught database, possibly an encyclopedia, and that could have been online or a hard copy from our library. And then one other optional, well, at the 8th grade, they actually had to interview a person. So they had to have those minimum of 5 sites, and many of them had not experienced working in databases or what they were. And every year we build on those research papers, and they do more and more. They have to do 100 note cards in 8th grade, and it just cycles up. And so through that, of course, we're utilizing the internet for a lot of our research. And I try to do a paper where they have to synthesize information, where they maybe look at 2 ideas and then synthesize those ideas and talk about which, what do you think is the best city to move to, for instance, of these 2 cities? So they would have had to have researched both cities, as well as then evaluating their information and drawing a conclusion. So I try to, and in that way they can't copy as much. We also talk to them very heavily about plagiarism, and I check every paper that they write. We have a plagiarism website that we subscribe to, the school does, and they must, it's called turnitin.com, and they must submit their papers to turnitin.com and present a receipt to me before I accept any paper or begin grading a paper. So rather than book reports, we try to build on critical analyses of books so that we're not just getting summaries that they've read from the internet. And that's pretty much how we prepare students for our college life.
Yay!
And as a public librarian now, I love the fact that it's, what she's called it is focused learning. I would call it guided learning, but in the old days, back in the 70s, we got our term paper topic at the beginning of the semester, and at the end of the semester we turned it in. And there was nothing in between. So now it's guided, it's stepped, and you don't timelines and accountability. So really, in a way, this is preparing students for workforce literacy, which is project management. And time management and project management, to me, is the most important thing that any employee can have. It's the most important thing that any student can have, because once you eat the elephant one bite at a time, or at least realize that you will eat the elephant one bite at a time, then you have eliminated fear, or at least you've addressed it. Because from the floor at 10 o'clock at night on Sunday night, my audience is not only the students but their parents. And parents have anxiety, and they give the students more anxiety. So and there's separation anxiety there too. And the parents are very worried about all of this, and they came up through the educational system perhaps that I did, where it was kind of like, okay, show it. Show me something, mister, and there was no guided help along the way. So the public library is there because we're not just the teacher or the school librarian that knows about the assignment and that has perhaps a way to enforce accountability. The public librarian is the doorstep, is the doormat sometimes, and we'll have people from maybe 100 different schools. Now, the one thing that I want the kids to remember, and I think this will help them when they get to college, and this is what I saw on the front desk at LSU and at NMSU, they came from their high school where everybody knew their name. It was like, Cheers or something. And then they expect it to be the same way. They expect the books to be in the same way. They expect the red book to always be on the third shelf. They expect Dewey or modified Dewey or half whatever Dewey to be there. Library of Congress just throws them, and if when I was at LSU, we were actually changing from Dewey to LC, so we were a half and half library plus a lot of fabulous government documents. And the kids, a lot of their anxiety in the college was, where is this stuff and what does this mean? This is something that the parents expressed to me too. They will actually say, well, I need to know more about the library. I'm so bad. I don't understand Dewey. And it was kind of like, you don't need to understand it. It's just an address. When I tell you I live at 12903 Goodwood, you don't understand Goodwood. You just drive down it until you come to my house. And getting back to the parent and the student, and then at that point being able to see, this is a transferable skill. If I can find this address in a physical place, and then also in a digital environment, there are addresses, there are steps to find, there are maps that you, or strategic maps, strategic paths that you take. Maybe it came through your school website at the beginning or your teacher's site. Maybe it was your teacher's Facebook page, though I know that's discouraging. Maybe it was your Edline or your Blackboard account, and maybe that led you to something else where you started your guided search. So with all that, the thing that I most want them to do is not fear, and to pick up something that's transferable, because I'm hoping that every teacher is going to drill into them this guided exploration. And here is Philip.